Hey, what up, folks? This is D Nice from Linear Mind channel. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the all notification bell. Um, we're ranking Kanye West from his worst to best album. We have already ranked his top 5 songs. You know, yeah, this took a little while to do. This was in the trenches for a little bit, but I've seen lists of his albums being ranked. It's not nearly as close as mine as it should be. But then I've seen like a list where you have like Twisted Fantasy. That's the best album of his. So I had the energy to make this list, which will be on the my list playlist. So starting from the worst album from Kanye West, number 9, 808s and Heartbreaks. Definitely the worst Kanye album. Um, this was so terrible. I can't believe some people actually like this. I've even heard someone call it a classic. But because of him losing his mother, definitely created this disaster. It was basically pop trash. The one song that saved this album was Paranoid. If it wasn't for that song, this whole album would have been a garbage disposal. There was no creativity. It was basically no production, no inspiration from the production. It was like all depressing songs, but it makes sense because his mother just passed away, so he created this. But it's basically a dead album. Um, so after that, number 8, his most overrated album, hands down of all time, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And I used to like this album first listens, but it seemed like almost every song on here was set up to fail. All started out great, but ended terribly. Like Gorgeous is one of his most lyrical performances on a song, and at the end, it seems like it changed the production up, and like it was a wrap after that. It was basically trash the second half of the song, but it kept going. And Gorgeous. Raekwon screwed the song up. If it didn't have Raekwon and they just ended the song just like right after Kanye's third verse, it would have been a classic song. Dark Fantasy, I love how it starts, but then it ends in a plane crash. Only 2 songs that were actually saved was Devil in a June Dress, which was the best song, definitely. And probably the first verse that I like by Rick Ross. Um, and All the Lights. Um, those are 2 deep songs, flawless productions on them. I would say it was flawless production overall. It just didn't end right. Like he tried to make a movie that was too long, and just if he would have cut it shorter, it would have been short and sweet. So next on this list is Yeezus, which seems just a little underrated, because this is definitely better than My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and 808s, hands down. but it has better songs. Um, I wouldn't say more inspirational, but it's more easier to listen to. It's not as bad as everyone thinks, but the main problem with this album is the subpar lyrics. Lyrics wasn't really like a specialty for this album. It was a little underwhelming even for his lyrical standpoint because he usually has some slick lines of wordplay, but it can't even add up to that. It was mostly ABC rhymes, but Bound to alone, one of his best songs, makes this album. Is Bound to is the heart and soul for why you keep coming back to this album, especially like the sample and the production on that. And he dropped some gems in there. Um, but they all, yeah, it's pretty much every song. There's some production I like. So amazing production, but if it had better rhymes, it would definitely been a better album. So he was better as a producer than a rapper on Yeezus. Um, and I think that's nicely put. On like the first listens, I was having a tough time deciding whether The Life of Pablo is a classic or not, because I was feeling half and half. I like the same amount of songs that I like is the same amount that I didn't like. Um, but no, as it aged, this album really didn't pull it off for me. There was a lot of fillers in there that outnumbered the songs I still listen to. Um, and yeah, a lot of subpar rhymes, as much as Yeezus. Um, but the production is like flawless. He got crazy production on it, especially Father Stretch My Hands and No More Parties in LA. That's some of the greatest production I ever heard. That could like mess with the greats. Um, it's a nostalgic album for the time that I was listening to, um, which is important. Um, but yeah, it's just a lot of stuff. But then like, yet again, if he came better with the rhymes, I think it would have been tougher to beat. But less fillers on here than others. Um, and number 5 is College Dropout. Um, so the first classic on the ranking list so far. Um, classic album, but not a 10. Um, I wouldn't say it's overrated. Because people been saying My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is his best album more than College Dropout. College Drop is clearly better. Had way better songs, way better rhymes. Um, yeah, better production. Well, College Dropout production, it was well rounded, but it was amazing. Like it blew my mind. But yeah, again, neither did Twisted Fantasy. Um, but Devil in a New Dress that had the cold beat though. Yeah, he was consistent on his album. A lot of good songs. They had a share of bad songs, but the good was outweighing the bad. This is when he first started out. He was trying to prove that he could be an MC as well as a producer, and he definitely proved that. He had a lot of skills. Kanye West is very slept on. He's better than a lot of rappers. Like out right now, he's better than a few rappers that was like there in the beginning. So I don't think he gets enough credit as a MC. Um, but yeah, move on. Number 4, late registration. Now, I think this is much better than College Dropout. And I almost forgot College Dropout. It had way too many skits, as well as late registration. That's what I didn't like about the first 2 albums. And some of them were funny, but it would have been easier. I would have lived if he just cut those skits out. It is like unnecessary. It wasn't like hilarious. Like, I gotta play this. Yeah, even though like it's a breather for the album, it feels like a waste of space. Um, but yeah, late registration was a whole nother emotion. It's um more favorite to me than College Dropout because of production. Production was way better. Rhymes were just as good. The songs were way better, way more memorable. Um, Great substance as well. Um, I think I said the rhymes were just as good. It was more of a mellow feel. That's more of my style. Um, it has some of the best songs on this album. It has some fillers where it's like drawn out, but a lot of great songs that carries the album. Yeah, late registration, basically the same as College Dropout, but of a um more of a mellow type vibe. But that's what I like more than College Dropout's clean backpack vibe. So at least number 3, Jesus is King. Now a lot of people would disagree, but yeah, I'm surprised myself to have Jesus is King this high. This is the church album he made. He calls it church album because he's more into the church. And he said he was going to use any more profanity on his albums. It's basically escaping the satanic side of the industry, aka Illuminati. But I was surprised how good it was when I first played it. Melodic songs. And yeah, it didn't need no profanity. Like, I understand that profanity used to get the point across, but rappers right now, they like use it in every line of their songs. It's like repeated when it doesn't need to. Yeah, definitely underrated one though. His main topics on this album is about a guy. Now I don't mind that. Um, Almost no fillers. Like think it was used gospel with Pusha T. I didn't like that one. And that was what the like annoying car door beat that I hated. Then like Selma, um, songs I did like was Follow God. That was the best song on there. Water, Everything We Need. Yeah, those songs I could feel. And it has a classic outro to it. Jesus is Lord. So I was feeling this. I even watched the movie Jesus is King of Fetus. I was cracking up about how entertaining this was, but um, yeah, this is like the new Kanye. He's trying to escape from these demons that he was surrounded with, and viewers, I apologize if I'm sniffing through the video. It's the allergy season, so I need to get my medication. Um, the best Kanye West album of all is Ye. 2018, he was a monster. This was in rare form Kanye. It's not only did he make his best album in this year, he was the highest producer. He was producing everybody's albums and killing it. He would produce his own Nas album, Pusha T's album, Taylor's album. He was like in the zone. Um, his best and most underrated album. And to describe his career, just to get into Ye, how great Ye is. Kanye started on the top, then fell off after his mother passed away. Came back and got better and better. Then dropped a flawless album. I don't know any other career that's like that. Just in all genres. He had substance in every song. And there was no thrillers. Thrillers. There were no fillers. But I think people slept on it because it wasn't presented right, and Kanye and Drake turned from frenemies to enemies, so people was picking a side. It was not promoted right at all. But this is one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. And this album's so dangerous. I just think Nas is probably the only MC that could mess with Ye. He even had one of the best album covers. And this was his most personal album. He was speaking things from his life. It's the most realistic album, but it was more of a philosophical concept to this album, which I could definitely feel. Almost like Late Registration, but in a better style. Like, he was in rare form. I don't think he could probably make. I don't know if he could make another album like Ye, as great as Ye. It would be a miracle. Yeah, this album, this was like, it was so unexpected because people was seeing him fall off, coming back. They don't know the pressure that he could take. As he was going crazy, we didn't know what was going on with him. But yeah, when he pulled this off, then it worked wonders. Definitely a 10 out of 10 album. Or you could say this was Kanye's 444, as people like to say, but I like that saying too. So that's my list and my ranking for Kanye West albums. Like, share, comment, put your Kanye West albums in order, and subscribe. Peace.